When you're ready, it's time to go. I like that because it was very respectful. It wasn't like he was calling me outside my name or he didn't raise his voice. And I said, all of a sudden, I'm attracted to you. Mm, I don't think it's toxic. It is what it is. Welcome back to the girls' room. I noticed I need traditionalism with assertiveness. I felt like in this past date that, yeah, maybe this is a traditional man. He wants to take the lead. He wants to provide, is a provider, wants to protect, is a protector, but he's not doing it properly for me. So I am still very much building out this list of what I want. And though I want a traditional man, I also want someone that is assertive and makes me feel like I can actually step back. That's where we're at. So just to recap on that date, we did a couple of things. We tried to meet in the middle, which, because I'm coming from LA, took me about an hour and a half to get to him. And I was already kind of not really sure. Like, I'm a vibes girl and I love to laugh. I love to be giddy. I love that instant connection and chemistry because, and not that I need to have it, but I feel like it's easy for me to connect to people. So when I don't connect immediately or like have that sense of chemistry or something, I get kind of like thrown off. I'm like, is this worth it? Like, is this something I just need to work on? Because the feelings are fleeting, like they can come today and go tomorrow. Or is this something that I should look into and say, okay, well, the feelings aren't there. The chemistry is not immediate. The chemistry is not really there, possibly. So let's just kill it. Or, is that too harsh? Like, I want to do this thing right, but I want to, listen to my heart, listen to my gut. It's so freaking hard. It's so hard. It's so freaking hard to be smart and vulnerable and communicate properly and, be flawed, but have grace and just all of these things that I'm navigating in dating. So that's kind of what I was unpacking even as I was driving to the date, as I was at the date. And it just didn't really make that much sense throughout the entire night. It was just kind of like everything that day kind of just didn't work. It just kind of felt flat, mostly because my day got pushed back. And so we had to push back everything. And then it got kind of late. Then we had to figure out where we wanted to eat. Once we got there, I didn't really like the food. I didn't hide it. And then we went out after. Didn't really have a great time. Like, I kind of am a homebody in ways, but I'm also not. It just depends on what it is. And so toward the end of the night, we kind of just dismissed each other, not in like a super rude way, but he could tell I wasn't feeling it. And I was like, well, you know, I can't be mad at you for just kind of getting a little short at the end. Like, let's just go, whatever. Like, that's fair because I wasn't really my jovial self. From the beginning, I was like, I'm just not feeling this. Early on, though, but this is what, second date, but I still felt like there should be something. There should be just a flow of conversation or chemistry or something, and it just wasn't really there. So I started to shut down. I'm like, I do know that I want a traditional man, I guess. I know that I want someone to take the lead. And it's not that because I can chit chat. I can be a chatterbox. So the fact that it was just kind of mute and I'm like waiting on you because I know you have things to ask me. I know you have conversation, but I don't like that it's hard. Like, I don't want this to feel like an interview. I don't want this to feel forced, but I also don't want to completely discount someone that possibly has the other traits that I'm looking for without all of the feels, because all the feels keeps putting me in these like little spirals. But after that date, I'm like, you know what? I think this probably is it. And it felt like we both did see that. So we didn't talk the next day. And I was like, yeah, I mean, when you know, you know. We did talk yesterday and we have a date. We have a date on Friday, which is Valentine's Day. Uh huh. But it's my first Valentine. And this is also a part of the learning. I'm like, I didn't really know how to say no. And if I wanted to say no, like, I'm kind of down for, like, all right, first date's cool, second date's meh, especially with the explanation and the conversation after. It's like, oh, okay, maybe that was a one off. But also, like, in the beginning, these impressions really matter and have a lot of weight to them. So we'll see. So this third date is like, all right, we're going to see if this works. And I'm going to have to put on my big girl panties and have a conversation. Maybe in person. No, probably not. Maybe over the phone, maybe a text. Just say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. So we'll see. I want to be optimistic because if I go into the date already dreading it, that's not going to be fun. It's going to be horrifying. And my actions are going to show that. And I think that's kind of what I did this past date. So I am trying to be a little more lenient because I know I had to drive an hour and a half. I was still kind of working. I had to pull over and send an email so late. I was so hungry. The food was mid. The everything was just like it just didn't work. So maybe if the stars align, I'll have fun. But as I say that, I'm like, man, I know that I could have fun doing anything with the right person. So that's why I'm like kind of hot and cold about this. I'm like, maybe you're just not the right person, and that's fine. But as I've learned, having a roster is just so critical. It's so crucial. So this time it's like, let me just not have all of my eggs in one basket because I need to just figure this thing out. So all in all, the date was cool. But what I took from that is it's not enough that you have a lot of traditional values like, the protector, the provider, all those things, wanting to take the lead. It's you actually need to take it. Like, I cannot follow somebody that I don't think is leading me. It's hard for me at this point, having been single for so long, having to be independent and just live life. It's hard for me to just step back and see someone not doing something. I'm used to being assertive every day because guess what? Women have to work. So it's not like we're all just submissive and we're just like, what do we do? Like, no, we actually have to have, big quejonas a little bit because we're out in this world just like men. So yeah, you're not going to get soft joy unless you really take the lead. Like, if I'm asking for something, if I'm asking for water, you better get it within 2 seconds, 2 minutes. Okay. It should not take you longer than it would take me. I know what it's like to just let a man take the lead. I do. Like, I won't say anything. Matter of fact, it kind of reminded me of a moment about a week ago. I was with this guy and we were about to grab a bite. And he was just like, come on. Didn't even look back. Didn't look back, but it was time to go. And he said, come on. And he said it just like so assertively and just so like he wasn't even trying to be aggressive or to take the lead or be a lead or anything like that. It was just kind of like, I've noticed that happen on a couple occasions when he's just like, it's time to go, let's go. And I was like, okay. I melted a little bit. I said, oh my God, it's time to go. It is time to go. Because don't ask me, are you ready? Like, you can ask me a little bit. But then if I say, yeah, I'm ready when you are, then when you're ready, it's time to go. I like that because it was very respectful. It wasn't like he was calling me outside my name or he didn't raise his voice. And I said, all of a sudden, I'm attracted to you. I don't think it's toxic. It is what it is. I I want to be led. I like being led. And some of my friends would be like, Joy, you don't let people lead you. I don't let people that aren't leaders lead me. I've noticed that even from work. I have a really big issue and problem listening to non leaders lead me. That's how I feel about dating. The traditional man also needs to be assertive. That's what I'm learning. But I also want to make sure that while I'm learning about these men and learning about what I want based off of what I'm seeing, that I'm operating from a place of love. That's all that this is about for me. Like it is just, dating in real life. Like I obviously need the experience. I obviously need the numbers just to learn myself. Like it's February and I'm already going through all of these motions with, different personalities and my own personality and figuring out who I am now and what I want and how to communicate. I think there are a lot of good lessons in figuring out how to still use your brain when your heart is like throbbing so much and it's just like all in its feels. I'm just gonna kind of like ride this wave. I don't want to let dating happen to me though. Like I don't want to just let these men tell me what's happening. I still want to be active in my boundary setting and cutting people off when they need to be cut off and sticking by it. It's so much easier, of course, when you're not super into the guy and maybe there's potential, but I can cut off potential easy because it's like, yeah, a squirrel could have potential. Why not? But when it's feelings for joy, oh my God, I could spiral. And I don't want to again be in a situation where you have to cut me off for it to be over. I want to really take control of my dating and pay attention to the signs, pay attention to the flags, pay attention to what I'm learning about people and making tough decisions. So that goes for, this date I have coming up. Like, I'm really going to pay attention to how I feel through that date, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I don't want to walk into it like it's an interview and it's like, okay, you better impress me. But I just have to really take note and come back here and figure out what it is I want. Like, I'd rather not have a roster if it's just based off of people being bored and choosing me and wanting me and me not really being interested. I don't want just like a half-ass roster just for the sake of not being by myself. Because I've been by myself for a long time and I'm comfortable there. It's not out of the ordinary, and my feelings aren't so roller coastery when there is no roster, when there are no men. And I'm not even saying I have a roster because I don't really believe in that, but I gotta let it ride. I have to go through this period, this journey, these momentary struggles to get through the other side. So just enjoy the wrong guys as they lead you to the right guy. I really feel like I'm on track to meet my husband this year, whoever he may be, because I'm putting in the work. And when I meet him, I don't know if I've met him yet because I'm such a lover girl. I was telling my roommate, I'm like, I think I met my husband last night because I'm insane. I feel kind of silly being so emotional sometimes and just like really following my heart because me following my heart has led me astray. I mean, it leads you astray. You cannot trust your heart. Your heart leads you astray. It says that in the Bible. I got to find the verse. But, it's the works that really count. And the more I think outside of my heart about certain situations, the easier it becomes to just write someone off. But I allow in moments my heart to take the lead because it feels good. It feels good to feel love and to give love and to have embrace. But it's so much better to not pour your entire heart into something that will likely not bear fruit. And so that's really what I'm trying to stand on now, is figuring out what makes sense for me. And so that's the pain of the dating that I'm kind of experiencing when I really sit and think about it. Maybe I really have to take the lead in my love life 100%, because I can't trust these men too. They say they want to take the lead, but where are we going? I asked this man that last night. I said, "Where are we going?" He said, "I don't know. I'm looking for direction too." Like, do I want to be on this train ride with you without a conductor and we're both just looking at each other all happy and giddy? Who's driving? Are we gonna Thelma and Louise this? Because I don't want that. I don't want to just completely take my hands off the wheel, especially if you're not following God. And let's be for real. At least one man that I'm stupid about is not. He's not. So, how long do I really want to play this game? I don't know. I don't want to. I really don't want to play this game. And it's not a game for me. That's the hard part. It really is real. Like, I feel real things. So detaching that and just like rationalizing and saying, you know what? I doubt he would be in this situation if the roles were reversed. Maybe just thinking about it like that. And it's like, what kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be the woman that just like follows her heart into oblivion? Like, no, I don't want that. So I know now from experiencing these past couple of months that I want a traditional man in the ways that are protector, provider, planner, God fearing, because I'm only going to follow someone that's being led by God, because God will lead us both properly, and you'll have that assertiveness, you'll have that confidence, I believe. Believe and receive it. So I know he's right around the corner. I definitely have my eyes on a couple people, but I gotta chill. I don't want to be too forward. I'm not asking any other man out. I just can't. I really have to stick firm on my do nothing spiel, because when I do something, I mean, who's going to resist me? Who's going to say no to me? Nobody. I mean, some people. Definitely some people have said no, for sure. Um, but especially people that are already flirtatious with me, like, I refuse to ask this man on a date. I refuse. Because there is one man in mind that I'm like, I don't know why we keep doing this dance. Like, we're clearly into each other. So, what are we doing? Like, you're making me feel like I'm making all this stuff up in my head. And I know I'm not. I know for a fact I'm not making this up. You're into me. So, ask me out, because that's the type of man and the type of husband I want. Somebody's just going to take what he wants. That's what I need. So, oh my God, we'll see what happens. And I will say, just to close this out, that, maybe like Steve Harvey said, we just need to think like a man, and feelings to the side. So maybe I'll just put my feelings in a little box today. I'll have to find the ick. I might just have to find the ick from some of these guys that will literally run me down, because I am so stupid and giddy with them, and just like, here you go. Here's my heart. Do whatever you want with it. Just the little girl coming out, the little, like, the lover girl coming out. So that's what I'm taking away. Thank you for therapy. Sometimes you just got to spill it. You got to let it out and move forward. So, until next time, I will see you in the girls' room.